Hey, welcome to an episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. Doing yet another beer that I got on Tavor. This one's a pretty big deal one. From Alesmith Brewing Company, Barrel-Aged Speedway Stout, the 2023 vintage. This one's pretty strong, 13.3. And it's an Imperial Stout with coffee, and they bourbon barrel age it. They even recommend putting it into a goblet, but I'm going to use my brand new Chad's Beer Reviews 𝘬𝐽𝙧𝙧𝙚𝗏 pint glass. Get your own, link in the description below. And I do pour, I don't know what I did, but I spilled beer all over there. That pissed me off. But it does get a nice kind of brown, blackish color, and, you know, pretty big, probably say light brown, foamy, frothy head. A lot has dissipated, so let's give this thing a whiff. Oh, wow. That is a big, big everything on that one. I would say bourbon, I think I got the most, because it has like this kind of like cookie kind of smell to it. Yeah, like a vanilla, what's that Girl Scout cookie, the Samoas or whatever? Almost like that. Yeah, like you do get, toasted coconut tends to be a flavor and aroma you tend to get with like anything like wood barrel aged, especially bourbon barrel aged. There's no actual coconut in it. I would say it's very chocolatey. Kind of a essence of coffee maybe. But otherwise, I think it's just like, you know, really strong Imperial Stout. This smells comparable to Goose Island Bourbon County. So it's like almost like if you had a coffee variant of a Goose Island Bourbon County, that's probably what this smells like. Maybe it'll taste like it. Cheers. Yeah, pretty much everything about that is pretty comparable to Goose Island. I don't even know where to start. Like that's like a big beer, big deal beer. I think like the first thing I noticed was the actual mouthfeel. Like it's just this huge body, but at the same time also like really soft and creamy. Yeah, so I would say this tastes actually much fruitier than it smelled. It smelled was more chocolate and coffee and bourbon and things like that. The taste, at least up front, first thing I notice is kind of like a cherry puree, which is pretty standard in a lot of Imperial Stouts. And also at the same time, like just the actual bourbon flavor. So it's like this, you know, vanilla, woody kind of sensation. And then when it hits the apex and into the aftertaste, that's when the coffee comes in. I would call it like kind of like more of like a medium or light roast. It's not like a huge French roast, super acrid, you know, black coffee. But it's like the taste of like actual coffee. Actually, it might even be like, because this beer is so sweet, maybe it's like giving me like a breakfast blend or like almost like an iced coffee kind of impression. I'm not sure what hops are in here, but it seems to be like a combination of like, you know, citrus and pine. Not that the hops are the star of the show, but I mean, like they're offering balance here, and like they're complementing the natural chocolatey flavors and the coffee flavor from the added coffee, obviously. I definitely get a warming sensation in the throat on this one. Not as intense as a pepper beer, but you know, again, this is like the same drinking experience I would have if I was having a Bourbon County. Definitely getting some black licorice on here. I will say that the coffee on this one is quite subtle. I would say it's even more subtle than like KBS, and like KBS is, you know, basically this beer but with, you know, chocolate and coffee, not just coffee. So, yeah, but so I mean, this one is like really like barrel forward, like just massive, you know, vanilla, actual bourbon flavor, woody, chocolatey. And I would say like of all the flavors, the coffee kind of comes last on this one. I think like the hops might actually be a little bit more prominent than the coffee. I will say it's a really lovely aftertaste, and it complements like that dark fruity malt flavor and the alcohol. Yeah, I would say this beer is really sweet. It's kind of approaching cloying. I think if I let it warm up any more, it's going to get pretty cloying. Although I would say Bourbon County gets pretty cloying if you let it warm up too much. Yeah, this is a fun drinking experience. Just to reiterate, yeah, this one is a full chewy body. I don't know if I would go as far as say creamy, like, but it's really close. But I would say it's super smooth for sure. carbonation feels on the low end. So this is like a bit of a fudgy, syrupy kind of sensation. Although I will say, I wouldn't call it sticky. That's a word a lot of people use, like on big, huge, imperial stouts and pastry stouts and things like that. Yeah, this I wouldn't particularly call this sticky. It's like the aftertaste is, alcohol and vanilla and coffee. So it's, it's like bitter, and it's like bittersweet aftertaste. By the way, I got this beer on 𝘬𝑗𝑎𝑟. Not sure what size on. It was, I believe, $16.99, maybe $15.99. That's like the same as what I would pay for a 500 ml of, unadulterated Bourbon County, when that comes out. And this has the addition of the coffee. A coffee Bourbon County variant is usually about 25 at least. So, I mean, I would say it's a pretty good deal. So, if you want to sign up with 𝘬𝑗𝑎𝑟, use my link in the description below to get you $10 off your first purchase. All right, as for the score for the Alesmith Barrel-Aged Speedway Stout, I gotta say I really like this one. I think this is comparable to Bourbon County. I am gonna give it a little demerit though, because I think that coffee is like way too subtle on there, but otherwise as a Bourbon Barrel-Aged Imperial Stout, it's really doing good. So, I'm thinking like 8.5, maybe 9. So it's about 8.5 or 9. As always, follow me on Instagram and Untappd, because I do tweak the review between now and then if you want to see the real final score. Alright, so if you watch all of it again, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys for Chad's Beer Podcast. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it, Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.